one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
Hey, beef with me, I shoot the block, don't die, we spin again. See a 10 and shoot my shot like, bitch, I'm trying to win. Shoot to the stove for the drink, you and all your friends. Taking shots after shots, I'm trying to get it in. Yo, beef with me, I shoot the block, don't die, we spin again. See a 10 and shoot my shot like, bitch, I'm trying to win. Shoot to the stove for the drink, you and all your friends. Taking shots after shots, I'm trying to get it in. Back in the day, I wasn't getting them hoes, they was ignoring the play. Even if I was headed to their destination, they wasn't going my way. Shooting my shot, they wasn't going for that. I promise they going today. I put that dick on them, fuck them and lick on them now, so they just don't know what to say. I swear the mama a freak, been ass over and beat cheeks. I don't know everything, but if that hoe go to testing me, I got a cheat sheet. Stay going hard, no weak me. Bust on her face, ski. We taking shots, then we repeat. She say it's on with Patron. I know that goose get her loose. I tell her come in and take off her shoes, and then I go knock in the boots. Me and you in the coupe, tryna slide what it do. All of my screws are tight than a bitch, but hers I'm knocking them loose. I'm so faded and fucked up, I can't stand on my feet. Still me and you in the jacuzzi, what I wanna see. Leave the crib at 4 a.m. and don't come home to 3. Don't fuck with no wannabes. Trip on me and you gon' see. You beef with me, I shoot the block, don't die, we spin again. See a 10 and shoot my shot like, bitch, I'm tryna win. Shoot to...
Yo, man, if you listen to my previous video about the predictions for tonight's game, I might look, I look like, I look like an idiot. And, I'm okay with that. Let's say somebody watched that video and they decided to make a bet based off of what I said. I just want you to know, it ain't going to always be like this, all right? But I cost you one. But I just want to point out, the Pat McAfee show, every single one of those bitches on there picked the Rams too. Now, I didn't influence my decision based off of what they picked. I had already made my decision and made that video before I had even watched theirs. But I just want to say the whole world was basically picking the Rams to win this game. Okay? I just want to put that out there. Now, I'm not the whole world did this type of muff. You know what I'm saying? But I just... You know what? That's on me, man. Hey, charge it to the game. But, yo, what's going on, man? The first night of football is back. I'm excited. A couple days and we got the season actually officially kicking off on Sunday. Like, I'm excited. But let's talk about this game. So Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, man, they put their foot in the Rams' ass tonight, basically. And what's interesting about this game was, if you look at Josh Allen's numbers at the end of the game, it's like, yo, Josh Allen dominated 26 of 31. I think 3 touchdowns, 297 or 291 through the air. My man's had a great game. And for the most part, he did dice up this defense for the most part. But I don't think it was really a Josh Allen type of game. But it was a game in which... So I'll get to the Rams in a second, but I just want to talk about all the great things that happened with the Bills. Some things that I learned so far just in this first game. Von Miller was worth every fucking penny. Like, Von Miller had 2 sacks. Lord knows if he got another one when I turned the game off in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. But he had 2 sacks in this game. Von Miller's presence, I think the Bills had 7 or 8 sacks as a team, though. Somewhere from that 6 to 8 range sacks they had. Von Miller's presence on this defense. Now, Ed Oliver had went down because of a ankle injury, but I hope he all right, or at least that's what I think it was. They was talking like it was ankle injury. But the fact that so many different dudes stepped up, like Von Miller is that much of a difference maker. Like he makes that big of a... Could you imagine if Von Miller's years where the Broncos were a bad team, he actually was on a team that was good? Like, this dude's impact on winning is so clearly evident. Like, this motherfucker on moonwalking to the Hall of Fame. It was a moment in the game where Vaughn get a sack, then AD get a sack, then Vaughn get a sack, then AD and Bobby Wags can team up for a sack. Like it was great theatrics in the first half. The second half is when it went off the rails a little bit, but it kind of felt like that was going to happen because the Buffalo Bills, if not for 3 turnovers, they probably walk away with this game in the first half. It was so clear that the Rams need a healthy Odell Beckham Jr. Allen Robinson clearly is not the receiver that people thought he was or that I thought he was going to be, or, and I know it's the first game of the season, but it felt like he had little to no impact in this game. It felt like every time they needed a play, if Coop couldn't make it, then it wasn't getting made. And then you top the fact that I told you Stafford was going to throw an interception in this game. Well, he threw 3 of them bitches in this game. Josh Allen threw 2 in the game. One really wasn't Josh Allen's fault. The second one was bad throw. Can't make that type of throw. But nonetheless, I expect 2 quarterbacks against 2 good defenses to, have turnovers. Josh, is this the year where I finally feel like somebody can close that gap and take over that position from Jalen Ramsey? A struggle. I made it some excuses for him in the Super Bowl, but he had a tough night tonight against Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was 7 for 7 at one point in time, like when he was targeted, 7 targets, 7 catches. He burnt Jalen Ramsey on a deep route. Stephon Diggs tonight, this is so crazy because Stephon Diggs had a game in which Justin Jefferson is usually beating motherfuckers like that, so consistent. Like, that's who he reminded me of tonight. Or I guess that's who reminds me of him when I don't know how you put it, but Stephon Diggs, bro. I knew he was that dude, but it's like tonight after seeing him dice up the Jalen Ramsey like that, I'm like, whew. Boy, that Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen combination, that duo is going strong. I promise y'all, it's going strong. If you didn't watch the game, but Von Miller's impact on this Buffalo defense. The Buffalo secondary, we know how good they are. Especially, I don't think they get enough. My man Johnson, who played a slot corner, I think he wear number 24. That motherfucker's a stud. But the fact that they have a pass rush now, that's different. Because you're not really used to Buffalo being able to put pressure on you. Now, if they can put pressure on you and you have to make quick decisions, and it feel like Josh Allen got a hold of this offense. Like, he know exactly what he's doing, what kind of plays they running, the type, like, it. Josh Allen is evolving into sometimes I be thinking to myself, like, do people realize how hard it was for Peyton, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Favre, all those greats during that period of time, how hard it was for these motherfuckers to come in, year out, and be great? Like, it's very hard to do that shit on a consistent basis. I feel like Josh Allen is starting to enter that. And I do think when you have the same offensive coordinator, or you've been in the same offense, same coach, same players around you the last couple of years, it's easy to grow into that. Because when you look at some of the players or quarterbacks who were able to come in and year out and be great, they played with a lot of the same players on a yearly basis. For Peyton, he had Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark on a yearly basis. For Favre, he had Donald Driver and the other dudes. For Rodgers, it was constantly having Devontae Adams. For Brady, it was always having Wes Welker or Gronk. I'm not going to say Moss because he only had Moss for one season, really. But most of these quarterbacks have guys that they can rely on a yearly basis, year in, year out. That's how you know they're going to be great. And I feel like that's where the Josh Allen is right now. He and Stephon Diggs know every year we go out there, we are a 10-win plus team. 10 is the floor. Like, we are a double-digit win regardless every season. We should be shooting for 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You know what I'm saying? And Super Bowls. That's how great they are. They done put themselves in a position where I expect for these two to go out there every single year, every single game, and be great and give this team a chance to win. You flip that over to this Rams side, and it's crazy because I didn't see the Rams getting blown out. But, I'm glad this happened because I thought that I analyzed all aspects of this situation last night when I did the breakdown, when I was telling you why I thought. Because I even said the Rams could lose this game, I believe, if Josh Allen have a Josh Allen game. But Josh Allen didn't have a Josh Allen game. The Rams lost this game because of that offense. The defense gets you 3 turnovers early. You don't convert really any of them bitches. You get no momentum off your offense. Your offense turn the ball over, 3 and outs. They pick up a couple first downs, then they punt it away. Like, the Rams offense tonight, to me, it was very evident that they need another receiver. Not only and this is why I say I love Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is not the best receiver in football. Cooper Kupp is a phenomenal route runner, great catcher, is great at keeping his feet in bounds, all of that stuff. But I don't think he changes a game throughout the entirety of. I don't think he can put a stranglehold on a game from start to finish like Julio in his prime, Devontae Adams in his prime. Justin Jefferson will be able to do that. And I think that probably have something to do with the fact that those receivers are a little bit bigger than Coop. But it's just something about how they don't really need to have a great play drawn up for them, because you can just do anything and they're going to win because of physicality, speed. They're going to have every single thing that come together that make them great receivers. And I think, and that's a bad thing, it's not just great receivers. It's to make them game-changing generational receivers. Because I believe Coop is a great receiver, but I also think some of Coop's stats can come from the fact that Matthew Stafford is going to over-target Cooper Kupp. I say it all the time. But I'm not taking anything away from how great Coop is, because he is great. But it's very evident when Odell Beckham is healthy, even back when he was in his prime, he a different type of issue. So it'd be very interesting to see what the Rams do with this Odell Beckham situation all year if he get healthy, because I don't think that the defense will look this bad throughout the season. I don't even think really they look bad tonight. I just think when your offense get a ball away that many times, when they don't convert any of your turnovers really, then this is the type of shit that happen. But what I will say is the running game for the Rams, that look like I told y'all, Sean McVay, he want to run the ball like that. I know he throw the ball a lot and whatnot. I don't even think he got the greatest pass concepts, but because he can work everything off of that run game when he have a great run game. Haven't had a great run game in a while, but when his team can have great games where they run the ball great, sometimes that's when his offense look the best. I think Sean McVay the Rams make great investments. They have to figure out how to make a great investment on a running back. Because while I like what Henderson did tonight and Cam Akers didn't even play tonight, I think they need to try to go out and find a legitimate 3 down running back that make a difference. I think that's the next big investment they got to invest in. Mind you, it wouldn't even be a big investment because you don't pay running backs the way you pay other players. But you have to go out and find what if Derrick Henry become, like, I could see this team investing in Derrick Henry next season, in the offseason. Because that's the type of player that could get Sean McVay's offense to a whole nother level. Because in my opinion, Sean McVay's offense has not. Imagine what his offense could have looked like if he had Matt Stafford over Jared Goff when he had Todd Gurley in his prime. Like, to me, Sean McVay has to go out and find a running back that can actually change. Because for so long they was running in this game, and they had a couple good runs here and there. But for the most part, the run game really didn't change life for him. But you can clearly see Sean McVay wants to run the ball. Like, he don't want to give up on running. I mean, shit, look at the Super Bowl as evidence that he want to try to get the run the ball until he just has no choice but to pass it. But another problem is I don't think Matthew Stafford at this point in his career should be dropping back and passing the ball 30, 40 times a game. Like, you should be trying to mix the run in, play action, and all that to keep Matt Stafford's throws around that 25 to 30 range. You know what I'm saying? Because, for one, you don't want him to extend his arm. You don't want him overusing his arm throughout the season with all the injuries that occur with Matt Stafford. But also, he's an older quarterback now. So, on top of the arm and all that type of stuff, he's just an older dude. And the things he could do in his prime when he was in, I thought he was a bad decision maker in Detroit. He's still a bad decision maker in L.A. But you can get away with it based off of how Sean McVay coach him up and whatnot. And, you know, that it'll be weird. I see why you try to get the run game started early this year so you can get away from having him throw so many interceptions this year. But if the running game don't run, then Matthew Stafford is going to have to throw the ball like tonight. And what could very well happen on a regular basis is Matthew Stafford, he ain't going to be throwing 3 interceptions in a game on a regular basis. But it's very likely that Matthew Stafford could give you an interception this game, 2 the next one, another one in that one, 2 in the next 2. Like, so the Rams do have to figure out something with this run game. And I'm wondering to myself, is it any running back out there that they could make a trade for? Like, because they're not going to make a trade for Ezekiel Elliott because they're not going to want to take on that type of contract. But is it a running game? Or maybe the running back that they have will get it going. But all I know is you got to reward the defense when they get you 3 turnovers. It's tough to get 3 turnovers by the defense, get a stopper here. And I don't even think the Buffalo Bills punted the ball tonight. Throughout the duration of this game that mattered. And that's alarming. Well, I don't want to say that. It really wasn't alarming. It's the first game of the season. I wasn't alarmed at all. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It was alarming. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But what was alarming was how bad the offense for the Rams looked. But then again, I thought to myself, as I'm sitting there watching this game, I was like, am I really shocked by what I'm seeing right now? No. I'm not. The only thing that shocked me from this game was how great the Bills pass rush looked because of the addition of Von Miller. That's why you pay motherfuckers like that. That's exactly why you pay motherfuckers like Von Miller, because they make a difference. They are game changers. They are first ballot Hall of Famers, generational talents. Like, all the superlatives that you can say about Von Miller, he is him, as is Aaron Donald. But the Rams have to invest in a running game, or a running back, I should say. And I don't know if it's a running back out there that they could realistically trade for that would make too much of a difference for this team. But if you can't get, I don't know what was up with Cam Akers, but it feels like they finna be a running back by committee type of thing. If something is wrong with Cam Akers when he get healthy. And I'm just wondering, like, because obviously Coop and, Stafford will eventually start, they'll have games where they carry the team and whatnot. But I don't think that Sean McVay really obviously they do a lot of praising of Matthew Stafford and, they just gave him his extension and all this good stuff. I think deep down he knows Sean McVay. He don't want to run the offense completely through Matthew Stafford for the entirety of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, he want him to be, the face of the team and blah, blah, blah. Or, that's Aaron Donald. But, the face of the offense, he going to speak very glowingly of him. Going to put him in situations to succeed. But I don't think he want him to be the head, just Matthew Stafford's arm is what gets us to the playoffs. And, I think he would prefer to have the arm get them through the playoffs, have the running game get them to the playoffs. Because, look at how many times they tried to get the run game going tonight. Like I said, you could go back to the Super Bowl. I just think, and like I said, this running back that they have right now, he can end up being a great running back for him. But if he isn't, I do think that the Rams next year probably going to invest in the running back. I don't know why they haven't. Like, they should have invested in the running back over Allen Robinson now that I'm thinking about it. But, when you got that Super Bowl hype going, every move they make seem to be a good one. And maybe Allen Robinson will look better, throughout the season. But, man, it would have been good to look good game 1. I'm just saying. Also, Matthew Stafford is back with the overthrowing. I don't know if that'll be something you can figure out. He's been doing that his whole career. It's just one of them games where you chalk it up and you say, yeah, we got to move on to the next one. Because it's a winnable game if the offense does anything. Anything. So, it is what it is on that one. But the Buffalo Bills did look. Now, I can see analysts getting on TV tomorrow or in the morning and being like, oh, the Buffalo Bills didn't really look that good. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions and they turned the ball over 4 times and all and blah, 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 blah. And it was a messy game. Listen, it was a messy game. I believe they were talking about how a lot of the starters for the Bills and the Rams didn't even play in the preseason. And I hate when they always use that shit. Like, oh, if they had played in the preseason, they should have just took a couple reps in the preseason. They would have been ready for this game. As soon as they get hurt in the preseason, oh, why you got him playing in the preseason? My G, you just said The reason we look rusty is because we don't play in the preseason. So now we play in it, we get hurt, and now it's, oh, why you ever play them in the preseason? You really can't win with these motherfuckers nowadays. You really can't. They done set this thing up so it's a win-win for them either way you put it. They don't know what a loss is. But for the Buffalo Bills, man, the people who had the Buffalo Bills as a strong contender to come in and win the Super Bowl this year, I'm pretty sure this. Hey, yo, somebody ran onto the field and left like a, what do you call those shits? Like flares or something? The shits that got the smoke coming out of them. Like they be having them shits at baby reveal showers and shit. He dropped a pink one on the field, so I'm guessing he was like a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm guessing. I don't know. Why do motherfuckers do that? You pay all that money to do stupid shit like that. Like, I don't understand the thrill in that, to be honest with you. I really don't. Not to mention, that shit is hella dangerous. Like, could you imagine if it was a shoot on sight for running on the field, bro? Could you imagine? Because could you imagine the worst? One of these jackasses run onto the field with some type of explosive device or something, and somebody get hurt because of this. Could you imagine how that would change sporting events from that point forward? Like, y'all motherfuckers got to exercise some type of self-awareness, some type of home training, some type of respect for others, yourself. Like, this is ridiculous, man. Like, and I know it's been going on for a long time, but I just think this is that. I mean, shit, I think it's ridiculous that the Buffalo Bill fans be throwing dildos onto the field. They do this shit so much they call them bildos, bro. Like, come on, man. Can we exercise some type of home training? And it's so wild because these motherfuckers do not act like this at work. And if they do, it's no way that they people know about this shit, because there's no way they stay employed. Like, these motherfuckers come to these games and act like absolute jackasses. I don't get it. Like, why must you need this type of attention? Like, what is wrong in your life to make you want to do some goofy shit like this? And I refuse to say, oh, man, rich people get money, they get bored. Bro, I promise y'all, when I get rich, I'm not going to be bored enough to do no goofy shit like that. That's ridiculous. Like, come on, man. Dudes can't even go to the game and enjoy the performances no more. They got to always be extra and make themselves the show. Shit's ridiculous. Like, come on, man. Y'all, I refuse to believe the child motherfuckers was raised so poorly, but then again, I understand that there's some poorly raised motherfuckers out there, so I digress. But this was, I wish it was a better game. It was a good game at halftime. It just got away from that. It got away from us. It got away from us in the, third and fourth quarter. Speaking as a Rams fan, it got away from us. Matthew Stafford and his offense ain't do shit. Listen to me. Matthew Stafford and his offense ain't do shit all night. And I felt that way. I felt it was headed that way, really. And it's crazy because to start the game, they looked good on like the first couple plays. And then after that, it was just like, no, sir. It really is a joy to see Von Miller at this age still out there doing what he do. Like, man, it's just a joy to watch. Because I get to tell my kids about this one day. Like, yo, I watched Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner. Like, come on, man. Bobby Wagner and Aaron Donald combining for a sack. You never thought you'd see that shit. Like, come on, man. But, hey, I was finna say it was a good game. It obviously wasn't. But I was entertained for as long as I was. But listen, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. The NFL season is back, baby, and I'm happy about that. Listen, Mookie Betts is getting a lightning card tomorrow, Player of the Month card on MLB The Show tomorrow. So I had today off, and I've been grinding out that program, the moments, because usually I don't do the moments for the programs. Like, the shits will come out, and I wouldn't have done any of the moments for those programs, and I'll do them, like, depending on how good the player is, I'll decide when to do it. The only one that I actually grinded out, because I still don't got Yordan Alvarez. He wanted a Player of the Month. Don't have him. It took me a month after the Anthony Rizzo one dropped for me to earn him, because I knew I was never going to use that motherfucker. I just needed them for a collection. I'm going to tell y'all something, bro. If you somebody who play MLB The Show 22, whichever one it is, I'm going to tell you how you learn how to enjoy yourself just a little bit more, bro. Because, you know, a lot of people be trying to grind. They be trying to get the best cars in the game and all that type of good shit. And I could get the best cars in the game. I got a job. I could pay for a whole bunch of cars and all that type of shit. I'm not doing that. Let me tell you how I rock out. See, I only been on this game for 2 years. Last year was my first year. I learned a lot of things in that 1 year playing that shit that I took into this year. My knowledge from playing it last year helped me be able to stay on top of my shit this year. Do you dig what I'm saying? So I done basically been working with 200,000 stubs all year basically. Because when I first got Mike Trout, I sold that motherfucker instantly. I've got Mike Trout 3 times before his price dipped the way it did. I'm talking about when he was worth 300-something thousand, I pulled Mike Trout 3 different times. I sold him all 3 times because I already knew I didn't want a single one of those fucking cards in the reward series or in the collection rewards. Randy Johnson is a great card. I really don't care to use him that much. And he was one of the great pitchers for me growing up. But they gave us a free Roy Halladay. So I'm good. And I'm pretty sure they'll give us a better Roy Halladay some point in time by the end of the year. So I'm good on that. Once I knew I didn't give a fuck about them live series cards or collections. Now, one of the things that's crazy is I had Jose Ramirez when he was hella cheap. And I sold that motherfucker twice. And I have not pulled him since his price jacked over like the last month or whatever. I had Aaron Judge at one point in time when he was dirt cheap. Sold him. Now look at him. I've never pulled him again since that time. I done pulled Jacob deGrom twice while he was expensive. Sold his ass twice. I pulled Max Scherzer once and I sold his ass. And he wasn't even as expensive at the time when I sold him as he was at one point in time. But every single one of those expensive, and I don't even got that many collections left. The only collections left I have is the ones that I just told y'all with the players that I didn't sell. I didn't keep. So Mets, Angels, and the not Indians, my bad. The Cleveland Guardians. Teams like that. Where I know, or, teams where it's like Corbin Burns. I'm not about to buy Corbin Burns, bro. I'm going to have to pull that motherfucker for me to complete that collection. But I'm in no rush to finish none of those collections. I don't care about getting George Brett because I got Austin Riley. That was like the only player of the month player I actually sat down and went on a hard grind to actually get him because I was like, yo, I'm going to like this card. And I fuck with that card heavy. But like Mookie, my favorite player in MLB, oh, you best believe I'm grinding to get Mookie Betts. You best believe. But yo, with that, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Hey, Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.